All right, Abby, so it turns out you didn't need a sugar daddy as much as I want to find one for you. And I want to re-emphasize this.
You were so passionate about this.
That I think that as Abby comes in here and she's struggling in the dating world just like you guys are, the bone I am trying to throw her here is finding a sugar daddy just to, don't look at me like that, is just to alleviate this painful part of dating with a dude that doesn't want anything except her personality, maybe a dinner, and pay her bills.
Yeah, if it's a sugar daddy, there's not going to be a lot of bones.
Damn.
You're going to be old.
That's normally how it works.
Yikes. Yeah, we've been doing this whole bit where we've been trying to find me a sugar daddy. And we've recruited a team of the sugar daddy Avengers who have called in, the sugar daddy Avengers that I've been in contact with over
sugar
text.
babies.
The sugar babies who I've been in contact with, giving me the tips and trips on how to lure one in. And weirdly enough, I don't know if I just have like this new energy about me because we've been talking about it, and maybe like there's something about my aura that has shifted, but I somehow managed to snag thousands of dollars in free alcohol just within the last week without even trying. Completely effortless.
Maybe that's the key, without even trying.
Yeah, I need to try less.
Yes. Try easier.
No, I hate that. I'm such a try hard. It's worked for me this far. Like I love putting in effort.
Has it?
Yeah, maybe not. I'm here, am I not?
What do you consider work?
I'm on your show. Okay. So last weekend,
You could do better than this show.
yeah, I'm gonna have to at some point. I got last week. It was Memorial Day weekend, and I was making plans. We already talked about going out to Alpharetta with some P1s, and we were hanging out, having a good time, having some drinks together. And then Saturday, I actually had some plans with the Bert Show youth group. It was supposed to be me, Jackson, Rebecca, Mikey's girlfriend. We were going to hang out at Jackson's Midtown rooftop pool. It was going to be a great time. It was sunny. It was gorgeous out. We were going to hang. We were going to be young, debaucherous kids. And then somewhere along the way, the plans fall through. But I'm in a good mood. The sun was shining. Woke up feeling skinny. I was like, someone needs to see me. So I was like, I'm going to dress up. I'm going to put a full face of makeup on. I'm going to put a cute outfit on. And I'm just going to sit at a bar and I'm going to enjoy myself. So there's this restaurant in Buckhead down the street from me called Yeppa. And if you've ever been to Yeppa, it's like a very social Italian restaurant. There's a big bar in the middle. Like you go there to eat, like the food's good, but it is very much like a social restaurant. So I'm like, I'm going to sit there. Maybe I'll chat with somebody. Maybe I won't. Who cares? I'm going to enjoy some Prosecco and then I can go home so I can feel like I did something on my Memorial Day weekend because I didn't have any plans for the rest of the weekend. So Saturday's my last shot. Got to do something. So I sit at the bar. I order a glass of sparkling rosé. I'm like, this is delightful. Wearing my cute new outfit from this place I rent clothes from called Newly. It's a little flower set and feeling all good about myself. And then in slides next to me in the bar stool to the right of me is a sweet little old man. His name is Darnell. And we were hanging out and chatting, and he's a man in his 60s. He's a single guy. He literally looked at me and he goes, I sat down next to you because I'm like, this is a woman sitting alone and she's fine. And then he proceeded to call me an 8. And I was like, okay that's not, when you say 5, you could have at least lied and said a 9.5. Like you and I both know I'm not Giselle Bundchen, but at least flatter me a little bit while we're sitting here.
An 8 is not flattering?
I mean,
you don't say that.
It's like
solid.
It's like saying you got a B. You know what I mean? Like, am I mad about it? No, it's above passing. But if you're trying to flatter me, you don't gas me up by saying you're above average.
I get, 8 is a really good score. But you don't say it out loud to somebody.
Yeah. Like, you and I both know I'm a 7.5.
I can see that.
But you can vocalize it.
If you're a stranger, you sit down and be like, girl, you look like a 10 out of 10 today. You know what I'm saying? You don't be like, I'm going to give you an 8. I'm not going to tell you why I docked 2 points. Like, that's just weird.
Yeah, I get it. It doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I can see
go with the 8. I get it.
It's like getting a math test back that you studied really hard for and thought you aced. And I'm like a B-.
It's not that hard to lie in that situation.
Yeah. I'm not mad about it. So, and we actually had this lovely conversation. So he's a single guy in his 60s. He's divorced. And we were talking about what it's like to date in this day and age. And weirdly enough, we're kind of going through the same things because we're both on the dating apps, even though we're in very different stages in our life. And it was just very cool to have a conversation to hear about like what the kind of woes an old man in his 60s is having as he's dating. And it was a very, very cool conversation.
Are they any different than somebody that's younger?
I think what was interesting, I think it was more of the gender thing. Like, he talked a lot about some of the qualms that he has with women, where he feels like a lot of women expect perfection from the men that they're dating. And he said that he's really struggled with feeling like, I'm just trying my best here. I'm like, well, you called me an 8. So, I mean, you're also very critical. So look in the mirror, buddy. But anyway, we had this lovely conversation and, kind of exchanged details about dating. And then at the end of the conversation, he wraps up. He's like, I'm going to get your tab. And I was like, ding, ding, ding. I think that was my first sugar baby experience, considering he's an older gentleman who just paid for me.
Right.
And I'm like, wasn't so hard.
Okay.
Then the next couple nights, the Braves have been playing in town the last couple of weekends, and my friend Taylor was out at a bar. She was at PBR, where we had Mikey's Last Ride with the mechanical bull. And this is a fun bar to go to, if you're in the right mood. You got to be a little tipsy. You got to be in the mood to dance to some country music. And I was like, you know what? I'll show up for a little bit. I'd been out with some friends. Let's end the night the right way. So I show up to PBR. We're at the dance floor, somebody's, Luke Combs is playing in the background. We're dancing. And I'm like, where's Taylor? Where is she at? And I text her. I'm like, hey, we're looking for you. She texts me. She goes, hey, I snuck into VIP. You want to come join? And I'm like, you snuck into VIP? You can't, there's security. You can't just sneak into VIP. So I'm on the dance floor. I move back to the back where the VIP section is. It's kind of like elevated, and there's gates, and there's a big security guard, and he's staring you down. And she waves me over. She's like, come on in. I'm like, no, the police is right here. They're not gonna let me in. And then the two guys that I guess that had purchased the VIP section, they waved me over, and they're like, get on in here. I'm like, okay. So look at my friend Taylor. I'm like, how'd you sneak in here? How'd you get invited in this? And she said, all you have to do is just dance really hot by VIP. And these guys just invite you over. The two guys that were running the VIP section were literally just like two friends from college that wanted to hang out in the VIP section at PBR and spend $2,000 on tequila, Tito's, gin of some kind, and all they wanted from us was just to be there. They were making out with girls from the next section. They didn't even talk to us. I said, hey, my name's Abby. They're like, we don't care. Enjoy the tequila. And I'm like, I think I done did it. I scammed my way into a rinse worth amount of alcohol this weekend. So I might not even need the sugar baby bit.
Didn't have to give out phone numbers, no strings attached.
They wanted nothing to do with this 8. It's great. It's great to be an 8.
The Bert Show.